in the ideal environment. And that's the second thing that we black jackets do. We are constantly creating better environments in which the children can develop their brains, the motor pathways, and develop their mobility. So maximum opportunity plus the ideal environment equals physical excellence. Okay, now we're ready to begin. And what we're going to do is we are going to act as if all of your babies are 1 day old today. And we are going to teach you about that ideal environment that you can create at home to move them up the mobility pathway from crawling to creeping to walking to running and to jumping. This is our program. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right thing for you and for your kid and for your family. So if you're uncomfortable with anything that we're going to teach you this afternoon, that's fine. Just don't do it. It wouldn't be a good idea to do something with your child if you didn't feel comfortable about it. Because it doesn't matter how tiny a baby may be, if mom is not comfortable, the baby will pick that up, and then the baby won't be comfortable. So the best thing is just don't do it. That's perfectly fine. Okay, now we're starting off at level 1, and the purpose of the floor is to take our 1-day-old babies and provide the proper opportunity and environment for them to move up this mobility column from crawling to creeping to walking to running to jumping up to level 7 and then over the top into physical excellence. Now you know, it is this program, it is the mobility program principally that motivated us to go around the world and live with people in the supposedly most civilized places in the world and the most primitive. And we did that, and it was a great pleasure to do that. And basically what we learned on our travels is that where there is no floor, there is no civilization. Now, with those people and those societies that we have lived with, where babies are never permitted to be on the floor, the reasons for this are very good. The floor is a dangerous, hostile environment, and so one would understand why babies would never be put there. With the Xinguanos of Brazil Central, that my father has talked about, in the jungle where they live, it's a damp, muddy, humid environment, and there are poisonous reptiles, there are poisonous insects, and you wouldn't want to put your child down on that kind of a floor. So what we do, when we go and we live with a tribe, we will do neurological evaluations on everyone in the tribe from the tiniest infant all the way up to the oldest adult. And universally what we have found is that if they have never had the opportunity to be on the floor when they were little, they cannot converge their vision at near point. Now, convergence of vision at near point means being able to bring one's eyes together anywhere from arm's length in. Now, I'm able to read the word Maribel because I can bring both of my eyes together on that word, and in my brain I see one image, Maribel. If I could not converge my vision, then what would happen is if I was trying to look at this, with one eye I might be able to see Maribel, and then with the other eye I would see Maribel's face over there, and what my brain would see was her face with these squiggles on top of it. And that's not a very conducive situation to learn how to read. But before I could even get to that point, I would first need to be able to write Maribel. And to be able to write Maribel, I have to have the convergence to see what some implement is doing in order to make those abstract visual symbols. If I can't converge my vision, then I can't do it. Now, the Xinguanos in Brazil Central, any kind of abstraction, not to mention an incredibly sophisticated one like being able to read, any kind of an abstraction is difficult for them. They don't talk about so many moons. They're not up to moons yet. In terms of measurement of time, a Xinguano will talk about from the time my child was this tall till the time my child was this tall. Pretty gross means of measurement of time. In terms of measurement of distance, the longest distance that anyone in the history of their tribe has ever gone is a 3-day march away from their village. So a 3-day march is the longest distance